yo sé que te va a gustar. Ahora mismo va a empezar, porque ya no aguanto más, no aguanto más, no aguanto más. Quiero escuchar con la armónica flashear, invitades de verdad. Soy feliz, ya me ves, con Fernández y Jaques. Un programa con dos pinos.
Y estamos al aire con un programa con dos pinos, una edición de post-Navidad, antes de Año Nuevo. Estoy acá con los auriculares puestos al revés, no pasa nada. Qué buen fin de año que tenemos acá con amigos. Hoy tenemos al genio de Aki Kumar. Tenemos a nuestro amigo Marcos Koll desde Berlín. Son horarios distintos porque es las 2 de la tarde en un lado, la 1 de la mañana en otro, las 8 de la... Estamos como en el medio nosotros en el uso horario. Así que va a ser un programa divertido. La armónica nos une a través de estos horarios. Hace un montonazo que no hablo con ninguno de los dos, esa es la verdad. Así que va a ser un programa divertido y me pone contentos. Así que les quiero dar... Van a haber muchas sorpresas, porque también les adelanto que desde la locación Fernández, desde la locación Fernández van a haber invitados, parece que invitados estelares, también armoniquistas. Así que nada, va a ser un lindo programa. Estamos muy contentos, así que le doy el paso al genio de Marcos o no le doy. ¿Está Pino o no está Pino? No lo escucho. ¿Qué onda? ¿Pino? ¿Marcos? ¿Pino? Aquí está Marcos. Hola Marcos, ¿cómo va?
¿Qué onda? ¿Qué tal? Feliz Navidad, todas
¡Feliz
esas
Navidad!
cosas.
¡Feliz Navidad y todas esas cosas, totalmente!
Yo bajé como 3 kilos después de Navidad, no me lo creo, no sé por qué. Comí igual.
¿Cómo
no
hiciste?
sé,
¿Cómo hiciste?
No sé. Espero no estar enfermo ni nada así, pero bueno, todo bien.
Ya lo primero que uno piensa, no estar enfermo. Ya
Sí.
¿Qué comiste
No
de
sé.
rico? ¿Qué comiste de rico?
Pues turrón, básicamente turrón. Y aquí es que...
Qué bien.
Lo que pasa es que debe ser eso, que solo comí turrón, comí tanto turrón que solo me apetecía comer turrón, entonces al final, en cantidad, pues...
Qué buena onda.
Pero bueno.
Pino, ¿estás por ahí? Lo escucho. ¡Sí!
Estoy
¡Llegó!
acá. Buenas.
Hola, Pino. Pero pará que, a ver, te encontraste a ver si entra en el plano Smallham para un segundo. A ver. A ver. Sí. A ver, para un segundito, parece que entra en el plano. Sí, señoras y señores, Nico Smallham, Matías Fernández, in the house. Y tenemos también a Aki Kumar, y la gente está viendo ahora a Aki. Sí, señor. Aki, sorry, because we are talking in Latin American style, not Spanish, but you are welcome.
It's all Greek to me.
Sounds like Greek, ok. Dice que suena como griego, está buenísimo, porque Grecia debe ser el punto más cercano que debemos tener con de donde viene Aki, de donde es. Así que, Aki, welcome to our program. Thank you so much for being here.
No, thank you for inviting me to this party.
Aki, this is a very important show because this is the last of the year, and maybe the last, and maybe the last of the world.
After people listen to what I have to say, it will be the last show.
So this will be record forever. The last show with Aki Kumar. So it's very important, and Marco Koll will be with Jaques, our translator for the people who follow us. I speak very, very, very well.
Marcos, I hope you speak Hindi, man.
They speak good. It's just that I don't know. They don't feel confident, but they speak all good. I don't know. I mean, I don't know why I speak better than them. Maybe because I use it more, but for me, they speak totally.
Okay, we the five we speak like you said, and that's all.
Qué bien. Pino, contame, ¿qué estás ahí con Smallham? ¿Qué onda? ¿Están tomando un Fernet? ¿Cómo viene?
We are with the Smallham.
Contá a la
Hey,
gente,
Nico. Good to see you, Nico.
Smallham is not little hen. Smallham is his last name. And we are have a celebration for the Christmas. And we have a surprise for later. It will come an old friend of us. My teacher.
Yes.
My teacher. Look at this. I told you later.
Ok, mientras Mati va a hablar. A ver. Aki Kumar. You know what is this? What is that?
These are cards.
Okay.
Cards it's a maze of naipes. Spanish, you know, Spanish card.
Okay.
We have a tournament with my teacher. It's a ver, ¿cómo se dice cada 10 años? Decime vos, Marco, ¿cómo se dice cada 10 años?
Every 10 years. They do a
10
tournament
years.
every 10 years.
Okay.
Or 5 years. I think 5, not 10. Okay. We have a tournament over blowers versus classical.
Traditional wave.
Traditional wave. Old school.
Old school.
Oh.
Yeah. Overblowers versus old school.
So in an hour, it is the final. The final. We decide with my teacher who is the best en una partida de truco. Traducite.
Sounds like a death match.
Yeah, death match. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wondering what they are betting on. ¿Qué estáis apostando? ¿Qué estáis apostando?
If he wins, he must to play like Howard Levy. If he wins, I have to play Little Walter every day.
Oh boy.
Since
I'm
2001.
so sorry.
No sé. It's a surprise. It's a surprise de premium.
Qué bien, Pino. Che, yo estoy chusmeando acá. Le quiero mandar un feliz Navidad y un abrazo grande a Diego Alberto Rival, que nos está viendo. Que siempre nos hace el aguante, Diego. Así que nada, te mando un besote. Nada, yo estoy en plan fin de año, comí rico, bebí rico. Estoy como con esa vibe. Hablaba hace un rato con Aki y Aki está en otro plan porque claro, está todo en lockdown. Aki vive en California. Se te escucha, Nico. Y está todo en lockdown y hay como otra situación. Era por eso que también nosotros estamos ahí en lo de Nico. Tenemos invitados especiales y todo porque se viven distintas situaciones en distintos lugares del mundo y eso está bueno también aclararlo. Así que, Pino, tuvimos un fin de año de la escuela copado. Tuvimos una muestra de fin de año de Twitch. Donde tuvimos más de 75 alumnos que hicieron videos. Marcos, te cuento esto que es una locura. Hicieron sus propios videos y se grabaron y se filmaron y con los profes los fuimos ayudando y como proyecto de fin de año virtual por toda esta situación fue que cada uno se haga un videíto. Hicimos una presentación por Twitch, que fue una presentación de 6 horas de armónica, cosa que nadie quiere ver en su vida, pero bueno, increíblemente sucedió. y nada, estuvo buenísimo y yo también quiero agradecer a toda la gente que nos hizo el aguante en Twitch. Y que nada, que es una locura que haya 75 personas haciéndose videos en una pandemia y que toquen la armónica. Así que los felicito. Contale un poco esto a Marcos. A ver,
Le cuento.
Aquí, Marcos.
No, he's want to tell you that they was doing with the school, the harmonica school. They was doing for the final of the year, they had to record each student a video for Twitch, and they had like 75 videos or so, all good, and they did a Twitch streaming that it was like 6 hours of harmonica that nobody want to listen. Not because of the players, because of the harmonica.
Yes.
That's what he said.
Yeah. No, but it was funny and all the people support another people too. That's what.
No, it sounds like a wonderful thing.
Yeah,
I mean, all the
wonderful.
harmonica jokes aside,
It is.
Yes, yes, yes.
it's a wonderful thing.
Yes. Well, it was funny, and that was all our week in our school, and we hope start a new year and make maybe another kind of festival online maybe the next year or another thing. Pero bueno, Pino, escúchame. ¿Te parece que tenéis que, como para dónde encaramos? ¿Qué decide hacer?
I want to hear to the people
Sí.
something about Aki, music from him.
Ok. Vamos a hacer una pinchadita, entonces vamos a escuchar algo de Aki. Aki tiene un discazo con Gary Smith y que está buenísimo, con David Barrett también. Y hay bastante música. Hay un tema acá, Bombay Stroll, que puede sonar. Suena Aki Kumar. Maybe louder. Para la gente que quiere escuchar la música de Aki, tiene su último disco subido a Spotify. Tiene este disco que se llama Bait of Three, que está buenísimo, con Gary Smith y David Barrett. Y ahora vamos a charlar un poco de eso, de su relación con Gary y con David Barrett, que son dos grandes maestros de la armónica y que fueron sus maestros y que tienen un discazo grabado. Y está bueno como por ahí, creo yo, encarar de cómo esa tradición del blues trasciende fronteras, ¿no? Como Aki, estando en su lugar de nacimiento, que está muy lejos por ahí de Chicago y California, se vio influenciado por esa música y tuvo la suerte por ahí de acceder a músicos de esa talla y de ese nivel y poder aprender desde ese mismo lugar. Que creo que es un poco lo que sucede con el blues. El hecho de poder transmitirlo viéndolo al otro. Y eso creo que es algo que estaría bueno charlarlo con Aki. Aki, I've been talking in Spanish, but maybe the way the blues is learning about when you look at the musician playing and when you are listening the albums, but the best way in my case, and I think, is when you see the blues and you feel the blues at live. And in your case, how was the best way to approach and to feel the blues? How you describe that situation? You think the same, or you prefer because in our case you see blues schools or a lot of blues schools, but I think maybe in my case as a drummer the better way was see the people and see the band and seeing the drummer playing. And what do you think about that on harmonica?
There's multiple levels of how to approach it or how I approached it.
Yeah.
And there's a whole cultural aspect to it as well. First of all, thank you for playing that song, Bombay Stroll. It's very strange to listen to myself like this. I feel like everybody's judging me.
No.
But thanks for playing that. Culturally, blues is not my native kind of music. I'm not from the United States. I'm not black.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of curiosity just from a cultural perspective, right? And so you spend many years, I spent many years trying to just find a level of comfort and love for this music that I knew I liked, but you really have to develop that love. But because I didn't grow up listening to blues, I had to spend some time just getting, familiar with all the different aspects of it. So there's that. And on the harmonica itself, as a student, and I try to be a good student, If I have a good teacher and they're telling me this is how it's done, then I sit down and I do my homework. So I did the good student thing, tried to do the little Walter and big Walter and George Harmonica Smith and Rice Miller and all that. And it's good to go through that phase. But after all of that was done, I realized that I had to find my own voice. And that's really where I'm most comfortable is now I'm trying to, and I think I've been finding that more than not. And that's where I'm most comfortable singing and performing blues. Even though it's in that traditional blues style, I think I'm more headed towards the direction of infusing more of me into it. I think that's kind of what you were asking about generally.
Marcos,
Yes, yes,
gracias.
yeah.
Aki.
Yeah.
Marcos, puedes hacer una.
Yeah. Yeah, he was kind of asking exactly how was for you, how you learned, how important was for you, like to be in California and getting it firsthand from. I mean, like you said, you have to learn first the culture to interpret the music. You know, if you don't know about the culture, it's like you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So. But then you did your own thing. So that's more or less what they was asking. So I'll tell in Spanish now, I'll translate what you were saying. Pues él dice que él al principio, pues evidentemente le gustaba la música, el blues, música negra, y pues primero te tienes que empapar de ella para, ¿sabes? Pues con discos, aprendiendo la cultura en general. Y luego pues con profesores también, que él es muy de, cuando le decían tienes que hacer esto, lo hacía y estudió pues a Little Walter, Big Walter, George Smith, Sonny Boy Williams, o sea, los clásicos y tal, y que tienes que pasar por ahí, pero él ahora pues va evolucionando y donde más cómodo se siente es cantando pues aunque sea con raíz de blues, la música que hace, metiéndole pues su cultura hindú y su voz hindú, que es para mí aparte lo hace de puta madre, o sea, es la hostia. I was saying that I really like how you mix the Indian culture with the blues, and because it feels natural, you know, it don't feel like imposted. Okay, I come from India and I want to mix it, you know, that I really hate that. It's like you really know your culture, but you really know the blues culture too, so you are able to mix it good, ¿no? Yo creo que es así, el por conocer bien las dos culturas, lo que hace le queda bien y le queda natural.
Sí, y eso es hermoso y está buenísimo. And it's so great, Aki. I have to say congratulations for your show, because it's lovely to hear you sing and playing, and you are so
and the videos too.
Yeah,
the videos too, really. The videos.
Yes.
I have to do something to sell the music.
Love that videos.
No,
Those
really.
videos.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's a good thing. Y otra cosa,
Nico,
Marco, no, yo lo que sí quería preguntarle y contarle que a mí me llama la atención, que es esto, lo que se está dando hoy un poco, o sea, Marcos que es de un lado, Aki de otro, que todos tocamos blues y que nos gusta la armónica, y que es un poco muy, no sé si se puede dar tal vez en otros instrumentos o tal vez sí, pero qué sé yo, como que yo celebro eso y estoy feliz también un poco de eso, de que la armónica pueda generar tal vez esto, de esta unión y de esta locura, de que estemos a cualquier hora en cualquier lado del mundo y no nos importe, y que sea por una cuestión de armónica y charlar y también celebrar un poco de eso, porque en definitiva todos venimos de distintos lugares que no son de Estados Unidos y a todos nos apasiona el blues y todos lo aprendemos de distinta manera y lo intentamos de representar con amor y con respeto, y lo mismo sucede con la armónica. Entonces es como que eso es algo que a mí me llama poderosamente la atención. Sí, Pino, decime.
Traducile, Marcos, porfa.
Yeah, he's saying that he really likes and amaze him that maybe it's because of the harmonica that is a kind of, it's a minority instrument, so it's we are all more connected, and especially now with the internet and everything, and that is really something, to have people from India, from Spain, from Argentina, from all over the world who love the blues and treat it with a lot of respect and everything, and we get together like we're doing now, and
Yeah, it's amazing. It really is amazing. I mean, you guys are in Argentina. You're calling from Berlin. I'm an Indian guy in California. I'm talking occasionally to Kike Gomez. I think he's in
Kike,
Spain.
yeah.
It's almost inconceivable. Almost even 10 years ago, we wouldn't have been this tight, but we are a very tight-knit community as harmonica players, and also we have a shared trauma. And I have to mention this because I think other instrument players, they don't realize this. The harmonica, diatonic especially, is incredibly hard to play. Anytime I have to explain how to play the harmonica to somebody that doesn't play it, and maybe they're playing guitar or piano or whatever else, and I start to explain to them, and they almost always don't believe it, and then they try it, and then you see the look on their face, and they're like, why isn't this working, man? Well, it's hard. And the reality is, all of us that play, even to play one note on the harmonica, we've put in a lot of time. And it's not just a lot of time, it's a lot of belief and guesswork. Is this gonna work? Is that gonna work? Where's my mouth? Where's my tongue? I think we all share that experience, and especially with harmonica players, I think it bonds us more than other instrumentalists.
Yeah, we in all the world are searching and looking for that. When you say about the difficult, I remember the number 2 hole draw. And people say, they showed me something wrong. This is broken. I say, no, it's not broken. It's difficult.
Yes, this is exactly what happened to me when I took my first lesson with David Barrett. And I think this is like in 2004. I went to him, and I had this harmonica for a year or two, and I was trying to play. And for some reason, he told me to switch to a G harmonica. I was playing like a D harmonica, which was easier to try to bend and show off, right? All your stupid thing. He goes, pull out your G, and I'm like, oh, sure, okay. I'd never played the damn thing. And he goes, play the same thing, and nothing is happening on this G harmonica. And so I look at him and I go, it's new, it's old, it's broken. And he goes, no, there's nothing wrong with that. And what's funny is, just last week I was helping out a friend of mine who's just getting started, and the same thing happened. And it felt good for me to be on the other side.
But some people, they play and sound nothing. And some people play first time and do super bending.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Those are natural genetic freaks. If it happened to Marcos, the natural freaks, I do not like them. I hate them.
Yeah. No, but that's
Marcos, traducí todo lo que puedas, por
sí, bueno, aquí estaba diciendo de que al principio, en sus primeras clases y tal, aprendiendo los bendings y tal, pues lo hacía con una armónica, una D, una en La, y que Bill Barrett le dijo, no, ahora hazlo con una en Sol, con una G, que es mucho más baja y tal, y que todo lo que hacía pues no le salía, era como otro instrumento. Y que hace poco pues le pasó al contrario, y tenía un alumno que le pasó lo mismo, y que pues que se siente bien estar en el lado de que lo sabes, ¿no?
Sí, no, y eso que le pasan a todos, que es algo normal. Y eso es algo que también yo quiero rescatar de lo que se generó en la escuela de armónica, que eso mismo, en nuestro caso al dar clases lo vivimos distinto, pero yo también lo veo que sin querer se genera en los propios alumnos. Esa situación de que hay un alumno que por ahí ya pasó por esa experiencia, y entre esos mismos alumnos se van como dando sus propios consejos, como diciendo, no, mirá, bueno, va por acá o va por allá. Yeah. Y eso es algo que se dio súper natural y orgánico, y que tal vez con los años cambió, porque yo considero que tal vez era un poco más de, no, mirá, a mí me sale y yo lo sé, y una cuestión más de secreto, tal vez. Y eso, por lo menos nosotros, orgánicamente de la escuela se dio que no hay como mucho de eso, de intentar de guardar o lo que sea. Y entre los mismos alumnos se nota eso. Entonces cuando veo que eso se da, está lindo y intento como de celebrarlo. Contale si querés un poco eso de lo que sucede entre los estudiantes.
Yeah, he's saying that in the school there's many students that they always all the time sharing if somebody is a little bit higher in the level, he shares with the other students that maybe before years ago the people was more like, okay, I do this, but I don't want, it's a secret how I do it. And that he sees that now people is sharing more, the knowledge and tricks, and maybe that's because of the instrument that is more, freaky.
Well, it is an instrument, like I was mentioning earlier. It is a kind of a magical instrument. Nobody knows what happens,
Totally.
how much work we're doing to get even the simplest of sounds. So it's kind of understandable why there used to be a culture of, secretive kind of, I'm not gonna share this and that. But I think the last 20 years, especially, that's just demolished. Like anybody that wants to learn this can learn very quickly. There's nothing out there on YouTube or wherever else that is inaccessible because of where you are located geographically. You could be from any part of the world. The only thing is, do you have a harmonica in your hand? That's the only thing that'll keep you from playing or learning how to do it. And that's a beautiful thing. That means we're going to have more harmonica players in the world, and we're going to have more competent harmonica players in the world. So no more crappy harmonica players at blues jams. Thank you.
Amen. Amen.
Traducí, Marcos. Sí.
No, está diciendo que gracias a que ahora, que eso no pasaba antes, a que ahora está tan accesible todo, ¿sabes? Porque es que hoy en día hasta hay grupos en Facebook de armónica que un simple pibe que ha pillado la armónica desde hace 2 semanas pone algo y puede estar Charlie Musselwhite o Aki o cualquiera top contestándole a un pibe que acaba de empezar, ¿sabes? Entonces hoy en cualquier sitio del mundo puedes estar y necesitas una armónica y una conexión a internet para tener todo el acceso, y que gracias a eso pues va a salir un montón de buenos armonicistas, y pues la armónica ya no va a haber, igual ya no tanto los mantas ahí que ensucian el nombre de la armónica, ¿sabes? ¿Sabes lo que te quiero decir? Cuanto más mejores haya, pues la armónica tendrá un mejor estatus.
Sí, va a crecer, totalmente.
No, por supuesto. Che, yo le quería hacer una pregunta aquí. Bueno, como ustedes saben, este programa está producido por la Escuela Armónica de Buenos Aires. Les voy a contar que la Escuela Armónica de Buenos Aires, si quieren tomar clases con la Escuela Armónica de Buenos Aires, se contactan y ya sea por todas las vías posibles, de las redes sociales, sea Facebook, sea Instagram, sea Twitch, que ahora estamos en Twitch y esto es una cosa nueva. Que bueno, yo no sé de eso, ya que sabe, yo no entiendo nada.
No, yo tampoco sé mucho de Twitch. No, es algo nuevo.
Play y las cosas. Así que, bueno, nada, quería saludar a todo el equipo. Quería agradecerle a Marcos Col, que está con nosotros, porque Marcos es del equipo. Quería saludar a Ximena Monzón, que también es del equipo del programa Con Dos Pinos. Nosotros del programa Con Dos Pinos somos más de 2 personas, somos un par. Un par son 2. Aquí, it's a stupid joke, mine.
I'm all about stupid jokes, man.
Igual después explicáselo a Marco, porque me en la cabeza. Es más, decíselo ahora, porque si no quedó error hecho.
El del par, dices.
Sí.
Claro, que dije, el programa Con Dos Pinos, no somos 2, somos muchos, somos un par. Decirle que acá un par...
un programa con 2 pinos is a program with 2 pines. We are not 2, we are more, much more, we are a pair.
Claro. En Argentina, un par a veces significa muchos. Eso es.
Yeah, that in Argentina, un par, a pair, many times means a lot. A lot of,
That's the stupid stuff, I'm sorry. Y me quería hacer una pregunta aquí antes de decir toda la escuela. Aki, if I ask you 4 harmonica players that you may say that's my influence, who are them?
Okay, so obviously, like most harmonica players, or specifically in my case, traditional kind of old school centric harmonica players, it's always more than 4 players. It's probably 40 players, right? At least, right? Pretty much any good harmonica player that I've ever heard, I've derived something from them, been inspired by them. But if I had to pick 4, I'd pick 2 guys who are like geographically, very close to me, and who were very inspiring and influential when I was starting out. So speaking of that, number 1 would be Gary Smith, who is one of the local San Jose legends.
Gary Smith. Pongan guardar cómo que ahora Pino va a pasar algo de Gary Smith.
Sí, sí, sí.
Continue.
He's called the godfather of the South Bay blues song.
Yeah.
And when I say South Bay, I mean South San Francisco Bay Area, which is where San Jose is located, which is where I live.
Yeah.
And there's been a thriving blues scene in this area since the late 1960s, at least, as far as what I would call the next generation of white blues musicians,
Yes.
who were starting to listen to Chicago, like Paul Butterfield and those guys. So Gary Smith is one of the guys who was there in that scene, helped get it going. All of the guys from that era who were around, including such great guitar players like Chris Kane, who were around. They will talk about Gary and how he'd been around, and he had a blues band. They'd go watch or jam with him. They all went to school together. Robin Ford, a very young Robin Ford, was playing with Gary Smith when he was very young. So Gary's been around, and he shaped his sound over the years, kind of like a combination of Little Walter and Paul Butterfield, and then all the other influences. But he's got this deep tone. To me, if there's one thing I had to pick about Gary, is his deep tone, especially when he plays amplified. And it's probably, I don't want to use terms like best when it comes to music, but for me, it's probably some of the best tone I've ever heard, and some of the best tone in my head that I'm always trying to chase, especially on the 2-draw, when he bends a note and he does the vibrato and he gets, I don't know if you guys have ever seen him live, but if you were there live, 10 feet away from his amp, and he's doing that, and that amp is moving, it's the best feeling in the world as a harmonica player. So Gary, to me, just for that, is like, right there.
Wait. I need to translate, because otherwise, before you go with the second. Okay. Él dice que primero de todo, que, o sea, él como armonicista, todos los buenos que algo le influencian. Él no podría decir 4, tendría que decir 40. Pero si tiene que decir 4, el primero, por razones también geográficas, porque él ha podido convivir con él, verlo en directo y eso, es Gary Smith, porque Gary Smith es una leyenda de la parte del sur de San Francisco, de la Bay Area, de San José. Es el godfather del blues allí, pues porque gente como Robin Ford, Chris Kane, o sea, cuando empezaban, él estaba ya allí. Entonces, pues eso, a ese nivel es una leyenda. Y luego, aparte, por su sonido, él dice que para él, aunque no le gusta decir el mejor, pues el tono ese que tiene para él es increíble, el vibrato. Dice que pues, si lo ves en directo, que estás a 10 metros de su amplificador y te está vibrando así y que le encanta. O sea, que eso es una de las cosas que más le llama de Gary Smith.
That's totally
so
not what I said, bro. That's not what I said.
Yeah, you have to trust.
For the next one, I'm just going to say something really short, and you should talk for 10 minutes.
No, it's okay. Just one by one. Just one.
That would be really fun. Anyway, but I'll move on to the next player if that's... Is that okay? For the next player?
Yes.
So the next player for me would be obviously my teacher, somebody that I went to learn harmonica. You guys probably know him, because he's become one of the big names in blues harmonica instruction. He's David Barrett, and he runs this site called bluesharmonica.com, and he's also a local San Jose person, and to me that was the biggest privilege of being in California. The day that I decided, oh, maybe I should try playing harmonica, having this guy be 15 minutes from my house was the greatest gift.
Yeah.
And I didn't even realize how good of a gift it was at the time. So the thing with David Barrett is, not only is he a great person, a wonderful teacher, probably as far as teachers in any realm, any subject go, he's probably the best teacher I've ever had. And his thing to me was that he took something like Gary Smith, because Gary was his teacher. He took Gary Smith's style, synthesized it, broke it down, produced a kind of a smoother version of that, or kind of a more modern version of that. Also, absorbed a lot of different West Coast styles that he was influenced by, like William Clark, or Mitch Kashmar and whoever else, Paul DeLay. And he kind of very intelligently put it together. He's got his own style, and he knows what he's playing. That's the thing about Dave, to me. That's the most amazing thing, is his brain is always firing, and he knows what he's doing. And so when I play now, I try my best, although it's not always possible, to use my brain sometimes to at least pretend that I know what I'm doing. And that was a huge influence, because it expands your possibilities. And being able to play Bollywood blues, for instance, even though I'm not playing in Bollywood blues anything really outside traditional, but it helps me sometimes switch positions or try a different mode or think differently, because I come from this style of learning where I'm always thinking about what I'm doing. So that's Dave's big influence on me.
Yes.
Ok, dice que su segunda influencia es David Barrett, porque aparte de que él vivía a 15 minutos de su casa, tuvo la suerte que hoy en día pues, se da todavía más cuenta. En ese momento no se daba cuenta de que voy a aprender a tocar la armónica y tengo a David Barrett a 15 minutos de mi casa, ¿sabes? Eso es un privilegio. Y que lo que le gusta de él, que aparte de que él lo considera como el mejor profesor que ha tenido en cualquier materia, incluida aparte de la armónica, mejor profesor que ha conocido, que él sabe muy bien lo que está haciendo, ¿sabes? Sintetiza todo de tal manera, o sea, está pensando lo que está haciendo, y cada pequeña cosa de la armónica sabe por qué pasa, porque entonces el conocimiento que tiene el instrumento es enorme. Y lo que hizo él es que pues él cogió el estilo de Gary Smith, que era su maestro, y lo sintetizó, pues con otras influencias como William Clark, Mitch Kashmar, Paul DeLay, y hizo un estilo pues con mucha influencia West Coast, pero un poco más moderno, y que a él le vino muy bien para tocar sus cosas con lo de Bollywood, porque él intenta pues eso, pensar lo que está haciendo, y pues gracias a David Barrett pues, ¿sabes? Como que le abrió la forma de pensar en la armónica, ¿no? De coger influencias, de crear tu propio estilo, y que eso es lo que más le debe a David Barrett.
Qué bien.
I hope I didn't forget nothing.
No, ya sé. ¿Pero qué es lo último que dijo, Marco? Porque algo dijo al final que ahí no lo pude retener porque me quedé escuchándote a vos. ¿Te acordás bien qué es lo último que dijo?
What was the last thing you said, Aki? Sorry.
I have a memory of a goldfish. So,
No, I
that's
guess,
part
I
about
guess
using my brain.
Yeah, exactly. Que lo que había dicho, que intenta tocar y usar la cabeza para saber bien lo que está haciendo, ¿sabes? No, pues tocar simplemente por el feeling o así, intentar, pues, ¿sabes? Lo que aprendió de David Barrett, de también saber qué está pasando en el instrumento.
Sí, tener la conciencia de está buenísimo. Name your fears.
Marcos, your answers sound. I wish I could speak Spanish, so because everything sounds much better what you're saying.
You have to learn Spanish aquí.
You know what? honestly, this year for me, because of the kind of year it has been, that none of us musicians have been able to. It's like a worldwide, like alien spaceship has attacked Earth, right? For me, it's been good to not be so caught up in gigs and booking shows and promoting and all that Facebook events and nonsense. I've been able to go back to just learning like a child and enjoying the process of learning. And
Yep.
not only just harmonica stuff, I'm trying to play drums these days and silly stuff. But Spanish is on top of that list because I think
Really?
that is a world language in the US.
I mean, you live in San Jose, so
I live in San Jose.
that's-
The United States is going to be a Spanish-speaking country, majority country. I have no doubt in just a few decades. So this is something I really should do. So sorry for this
No.
digression, but yes, I will. I will.
No,
Aki.
you have to.
You have to learn Spanish because you're invited to come to Argentina.
I have to what? What's that?
Too soon, you're invited to come.
Oh yes, I would love to. I would love to.
It sounded
you have
really.
to go there, man. You're gonna freak out. All the level of great harmonica players there, man, is playing
No, I believe-
tango, playing jazz. They bad, man. They bad
No, I've
motherfuckers.
seen some of, and I've listened to some of it, and it is scary good, and I don't want to go because it's so.
No,
good.
no, man. They're gonna love you there, and they're gonna give you the best asado in the world, man, and the
Yeah,
best
of course, of course.
alfajores. Yeah, you love it there.
Marcos, contale
Dime.
cuando tocaste vos acá, cómo terminamos el show todos bailando los armonicistas. Contame un poquito.
We was doing a show there, and it's great because all the audience. I mean, 80% of the audience know what you're doing. At least in a minimum. They are harmonica players or harmonica lovers, or
Yeah.
so at the end it ended up a party because the good things these guys got is that really it's a community that they really get along well with each other. It's like in every community there's a couple assholes. In this one, not, man. They all love each other, share each other. I don't know, man. I never saw nothing like that, really. And
Well, I can
so,
already
yeah.
feel that through just and I had a very small visit recently for just it was kind of like surreptitious, but I got a taste of that down there, although it wasn't very harmonica centric. So
Yeah.
I think culturally there's a lot of tight bonding there, and I would love to spend
A
more
lot
time.
with in Argentina, man. It's compared to football. It's like when you are from a team or from, they really love that team. So if they are for the harmonica, they are really into that. And
Yes.
I don't know, man. They live the harmonica. Really.
Well, it's a beautiful thing. Yes, I will learn Spanish well enough that next time I'll be able to do it live from Argentina.
Yeah.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aki,
Yes.
it comes the grandfather of Ale Jacques.
The Godfather.
I don't know why you call him grandfather. He looks very young to me. I mean, good to
Adrián
see you.
Jiménez.
Good to see you.
I told you, Adrián
Nice to
Jiménez.
meet you.
Adrián,
Thanks for
salud.
joining the party.
Salud.
He was
Adrián.
my teacher. He was my teacher, and I was the teacher of Ale Jacques. So Aki Kumar.
Hi, Aki.
Hello, brother.
Aki.
Hi, Marco.
Hey, yo te hacía en Madrid, cabrón.
Me volví hace poco.
Ah, sí.
He was in Europe.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and he came back a few weeks, a month ago.
One more.
1 month ago.
Okay. Well, welcome back to Argentina.
Yeah.
I can say that to you.
Tomar por culo.
Eso es pensar en España.
No, eso en
Acá se
España.
anda la mierda.
¿Qué?
I don't know where I was on my. How many players did you want? 4?
Marcos,
Ya, 4, ¿eh? Eran 4.
Cuatro,
¿no?
cuatro,
Los
cuatro.
Yo era in the third,
Ah,
I
sí,
think.
perdón, sí.
Tercero.
El
I'm
tercero.
on the 3rd.
Ya, sí, tercero.
Yeah.
tercero.
Okay, and I'm not even drinking beer, and I don't remember. I think if I had to name a third one, it would have to be obviously Little Walter, for no other reason than I think he's the greatest blues harmonica player, period. of all time, and there's very little disputing that. It took me, I'm ashamed to say, a little while to really appreciate it when I was getting started, because I wasn't quite dialed into the nuances of playing. I was more enamored by speed playing and fast playing, and not that that's easy. It's incredibly hard to do that as well, but I wasn't really open, or I wasn't capable of understanding how difficult it is to play like Little Walter. And then a few years into listening, just my listening habit of listening to blues, I finally had a moment where it just hit me. I was listening to Little Walter late at night, and it was like, holy crap, this is just this is the greatest thing, and I don't know why it's taken me so long. And ever since then, I've been trying to just, do what every other blues harp player has tried to do, try to copy his licks and fail at it miserably, because it's not just, you can't copy that level of greatness, Hendrix or Coltrane, whatever, you pick your guys. There's a lot of imitators, but none of them are as good as the original. And there's never going to be anybody that plays Little Walter better than Little Walter. And to summarize what I like about him is the way I think he approaches is that the way they would describe Muhammad Ali boxing would be fly like a butterfly, sting like
a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Sting like a bee. And Walter could do that in the space of a couple of seconds. So, like if you listen to Off the Wall, where he's going pop 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 pop, this big percussive thing. And then right as soon as he's done with that, he goes just dancing, and then he'll come punch you.
Yes.
Man.
Totally.
So
Totally.
that is a total musician. He's a genius. If he weren't just a harmonica player, he would have been a giant of the jazz and the American musical world. Everybody would know him. But thankfully, us harmonica players know him and love him and really think of him.
Aki, listen to this. This thing is, I don't play. ¿Qué miran ustedes?
Yeah, baby.
Two things. This a question and an answer. Wait. So, and you know what? If we 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If we 6 play that thing, there are 6 ways different to listen.
Yes.
But it came from Little Walter.
Yes.
But 6 ways to enjoy.
Yes.
That is the thing I understand in the harmonica right now in the world.
Yes.
There are many things to enjoy.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Vamos a traducir un poco, we have to translate because we have a lot of people who doesn't speak English.
Okay, my brains. Decía pues Little Walter, evidentemente, pues él es, casi no hay discusión de que es el mejor de la historia, el mejor top armonicista de blues y todo eso, que a él le tardó no fue el primero que le enamoró así de los armonicistas de blues, que al principio pues él se fijaba más en la velocidad o en otras cosas, hasta que un día, escuchándolo por la noche y tal, le hizo así boom y entendió lo que es Little Walter, la forma de tocar, y la describía muy bien. That was a good one, man. Decía es como Mohamed Ali, ¿no? Que vuela como una mariposa y pica como una abeja, que puede estar en el off the wall, que está ahí, y luego va, ¿sabes? Y empieza a bailar. Entonces, y eso es una descripción muy buena de Little Walter para mí, de la forma de tocar, y que si Little Walter no hubiera sido armonicista o tocara ya, o sea, estuviera en otro circuito, digámoslo, sería pues eso, puesto como un Coltrane, como un Jimi Hendrix, a ese nivel.
Sí, ni hablar. Es
Y
tremendo.
que bueno, y que es imposible tocar como él y copiarlo, que es que o sea, no tiene sentido, que todos intentamos hacerlo en algún momento, pero todos fracasamos.
Sí, no, y eso también que decía Mati de que uno lo aprecia de distinta, que son distintas maneras de apreciarlo y que todos lo apreciamos distinto y que a todos nos influencia de distinta manera, pero que sí o sí los atraviesa a todos. Y eso está buenísimo. Sí, posta que sí. Y the last one, Aki.
Oh, last one. This is tough, so please nobody get offended because I didn't name their favorite harp player. I would struggle to name a last one here because I like for me, the Chicago, guys and pre-Chicago, whatever, just pre-war, post-war, they are all great. I love Big Walter. I love Rice Miller. I really love John Lee Williamson. I was listening to Papa Lightfoot the other day. I was listening to D. Ford Bailey and just wanting to just throw all my harmonicas away. So it's hard. But the guy I'm going to pick as the last one for me personally is Junior Wells because because he came from this school kind of, I think, although it's not even similar to our modern day experience, but he had to kind of, for some part of his career, fill Little Walter's shoes, kind of playing Muddy Waters music in Little Walter's style. So you get a taste of that where he's trying to keep it in that pocket, that tradition. And then later on in the 60s, when the soul and funk thing was happening and he found his own voice and he was able to break away from that, you hear Junior Wells come into his own element. And as he got older, I think he got hipper. How he plays is hip. It's cool. He doesn't play a lot of complicated stuff because he doesn't have to. He'll play the cool stuff. And even when he plays in a technically imprecise way, perhaps compared to some modern harmonica players, I think he's way cooler than most.
Amen.
You know what I mean? And it's very hard to describe this. It's the same feeling I get when I listen to Jimmy Reed. And I tried to play like Jimmy Reed, but it's not going to happen because there's a depth of coolness there that's unattainable. And that's what I feel with Junior. And the thing is, his playing is in sync with his singing too. The hipness is there throughout. You watch the way he sings. There's a great video of him, black and white, from the 60s, singing Hoodoo Man Blues. Just watch that and tell me that's not the coolest thing on the planet. Just the whole thing.
Yeah, that record.
He's the coolest.
Adrian saying the same thing. Resident. Yeah,
Resident.
Yeah. He said,
Hoodoo Man Blues.
Yeah. He said.
Hoodoo Man Blues.
Hoodoo Man Blues, man.
Álbum.
Sí. Junior Wells. Junior Wells. Traducía y Marco.
Bueno, pues dice que no podría decir uno más, ¿sabes? Que el otro día estuvo escuchando a DeFord Bailey, también quería tirar las armónicas, o a Papa Lightfoot. Sabes que hay un montón, pero por decir uno, Junior Wells, porque pues él al principio tenía que ponerse en los zapatos de Little Walter, en la banda de Muddy Waters, y que consiguió hacerlo, ¿sabes? Que sonara más o menos así, pero luego él cuando a partir de los 60, pues con el soul, el funk y tal, tuvo su estilo propio y que, pues eso, que era el más cool y el más hip, porque es la forma que tiene Junior Wells de tocar, que a veces está tocando como mal para alguien muy, muy, muy técnico, diría, es impreciso y tal, pero es que cada nota dice tanto y toca como canta, ¿sabes? Está cantando, tocando el o sea, cada nota que hace es súper hip. Sí, y bueno, eso sería la característica de lo que le gusta de Junior.
Perfecto. Aquí te hago una pregunta más. Aquí, a new question. I'm sorry, my English is...
Yeah,
I'll take that as a compliment. I think I have been assimilated into Argentinian society that you're speaking to me in Spanish.
Please learn Spanish.
Para eruptar a gusto.
Listen.
En
If
estéreo.
you have, there is a question I ask everybody who pass in this program. The question is, if is there a hard player that you see that you could say, there's one guy that I want too many people know him and maybe he doesn't have, I don't know, some diffusion.
There's a guy locally here in San Jose. He's another one of the guys who's been around for a long time. He's one of the guys who's been playing since the early 70s. He's a great guitar player, songwriter, just a very sophisticated musician. His name is Stevie Gurr. And what people don't know about him is that he's a really, really good harmonica player. He obviously traditional style, but not so much either. And he's got his own style. There's not a whole lot of him out there. In fact, a couple of recent videos that are on Facebook are the ones that I took of him at my jam, at my blues jam, where he just came and took his harp and solo played and sang and did some of the greatest stuff I've seen in recent times. And he doesn't care if he's just that good and he's happy. But I think he could definitely use more recognition. So if you find anything about Stevie, and I always, every time I run into him, I'm hoping that he puts more of his harmonica music out there. Stevie Gurr.
Steve
Geiger.
No, not Geiger. Geiger is a great harmonica player. Geiger is
he's recognized.
He's recognized. And unfortunately, he hasn't been to the West Coast in a while. But I'm a huge fan of Steve Geiger, and but I think most people do know. I'll spell him his name in the chat here.
Okay.
Yes, in the chat.
Right.
Okay. Steve Good. Okay.
And now this is somebody that's really virtually unknown. But I'm going to name one more guy that I've really always liked, and he's well known in Canada. But probably I don't know about you folks down in Argentina or elsewhere. There's a guy named Steve Mariner, who is
I have in YouTube. This is Steve Gurr tribute to Norton Buffalo. Norton Buffalo, I like it.
That is probably the right guy.
Yeah.
Norton Buffalo, if it's a tribute, that's probably the right guy.
Es otro.
No,
Steve Gurr hizo harp. Pino, te paso esto a ver si es esto y pasar un toque, porque eso es lo mejor que tenemos nosotros. ¿Está bien?
Sí.
¿Te podés? Ahí te lo paso. Te lo pasé por WhatsApp.
Gracias. Pásalo al chat del Zoom.
¿El chat acá?
Sí.
¿Esto?
Sí, porque el WhatsApp si no me hace...
Listo.
A ver, acá sí.
You know, Aki, I
Yes,
think this is important because this way many friends and people who follow this show, they know hard players that they didn't know in other way.
Yes.
It's here. This.
All right, shoot.
Trying.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Okay.
Only harmonica. Okay, Steve Gurr and another guy you told.
His name he's well known in Canada. Actually, he's very well known up there, and he's a great multi-instrumentalist.
Okay.
But I don't know if he doesn't come up in conversation for some reason when I'm talking to a harmonica player so much. So I'll just send you his name.
Okay.
Check him out. He's a great player, and he started out playing harmonica very young. He was a teenager and already very good. And I got to see him live one time, and he just blew me away. His name is Steve Mariner, and check him out.
Yeah.
Really.
Okay. Multi-instruments too.
These old bones around.
Great singer, of course.
Love and loss worn my body down.
I'm play guitar too. Sing.
Guitar,
Sun
organ,
is low,
bass.
fading from the sky.
Easily.
Close my eyes, let my spirit fly. And I'm hellbound for heaven, going home to stay.
You might wanna.
And he used tone blocking too.
And is he playing on a rack? Guitar and harmonica?
Hellbound for heaven.
No, no, that's him playing on a rack. So that's
Tiene
just him.
soporte, yes, the rack.
You should also check out when you get a chance when he plays, Muddy Waters and sings that
Okay.
stuff. Oh,
Entiendo.
chromatic, big fat chromatic sound. It sounds like an organ. He knows what he's doing.
No, thank you so much for this, Aki.
Yeah.
I never listened to Stephen Martin. I'm going to listen.
Aquí, last question. No,
Yeah.
no, I don't know if the last or not.
Goodbye.
No. Aquí. So, ya Marcos se muere, Marcos de la risa. Marcos, we miss you, ¿eh?
Yeah, I miss you too. Y los autos negros, al payaso sin dientes, al mago sin dientes.
El mago sin dientes. Listen,
Al que
aquí-
echamos de menos, o sea, al que vamos a echar de menos de verdad, ya sabéis a quién es. ¿eh?
Sí.
Ya sabéis.
A
Ya
Diego.
Adiós. Adiós.
Basta, no hablen de eso.
Ya, sí, venga, va.
Aquí,
Perdón.
No, está bien, aquí. Two things. With Marcos, we believe, in fact, I believe, and now he believes, because I told him, people with black cars are dangerous people. Remember that.
Dangerous people.
Marcos has a black car.
Ey, se me quedó congelada, no te escuché.
It doesn't matter, Marcos.
Escucha.
I didn't speak about you.
Okay. I just heard black car, and I don't have
Yeah,
even
black
driving
cars.
license. I don't even have driving license, so I don't know for what.
Black cars, dangerous people.
Yeah.
I personally think that when a black car crosses you, it's bad luck.
Oh!
He
It's
understands.
Aki, Matthias is always saying people who got black cars is bad people.
No,
I don't know. He said.
I don't discriminate cars by color. I discriminate cars by who's driving them. If I see some guy playing harmonica while driving, that's not a good thing.
Nope.
Bad things are gonna happen.
Che.
No, I say another thing. I say black car, dangerous with driver. Dangerous driver, always. No bad people. That's it's a German translation.
No.
Che.
Okay, no dijiste malos, me acuerdo perfectamente. Son mala gente.
Che. No, Aki.
Yes, sir.
Do you want to play a little song for us, please?
Yeah.
Play something?
Sí, please.
All right.
Ah, tocamos nosotros.
I should have thought about this, but
Pónganse en mute si pueden.
I'm crazy about you, baby. Wonder, do you ever think of me? You know I'm crazy about you, baby. But you don't care nothing in the world for me. Well, I can't sleep at night. I can't nap through the day. Can't hold on much longer, love. Living this way. You know I'm. Wonder, do you ever think of me? You know I'm in love with you, darling. But you don't care nothing in the world for me.
Muy bueno, chabón.
¡Vamos!
Muy bueno.
Yay.
It's one of my original songs. Thank you.
Thank you so
Okay.
much, Aki.
Aki, I like a lot.
There's so many things you could say after that.
It is a competition for me.
Ali!
I bow humbly to the grandfather and the godfather and every kind of father of the blues in
The
Argentina.
grandfather of Jaques.
And Marcos Cole and Alejandro.
No, thank you.
Aki, you are a, ¿cómo se dice capo?
Capo.
You are a capo. You are a capo.
Is that a good thing?
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's like
Very good.
when Marcos say, oh, puta madre, puede ser bueno o malo. O sea, acá es bueno.
No, but Capo is always bueno. Capo is
Capo es
always
good.
bueno.
Well,
Salvo el
thank you.
amigo, salvo el que era amigo de Jack. Ahí voy.
Che, vas a hacer lo de las cartas, ¿verdad?
¿Está bien o no?
Está
¿O no
bien,
llega?
dale, porque tengo que de a poco cerrar. Vas a tener que hacerlo modo express.
Y se habrán new, no, there's no cheat. Habrá new, Sí, es una mano sola. One hand of truco.
Dale.
Me parece que hay 50, pero la puta que no.
No, bueno.
¿Eh? Small hand is de árbitro.
Dale que estás en primer plano, dale.
Las está mezclando. Adrián, ¿qué pensás de este momento?
Y que esa muerte.
Deathmatch, como dijo, like say Aki.
Sí, deathmatch.
He say,
Jean-Claude Van Damme, Bloodsport, let's go.
Ya.
old school, come on. Yeah. I will beat you. Te voy a hacer talco. Le digo la traducción de HBO.
Te voy a hacer talco.
¿De quién era? Overblow, ¿cómo era? Tiene que decir Overblow. La bandera. Tiene que decir la bandera.
Esto es Overblow versus Blue Clásico. La final. ¿Quién ganará? Esto es una mano, ¿eh? Ya hicimos 2 en muchos años. Ahora viene la final, mezcla Smallhand.
Wow.
Miren el nivel de confianza que Smallhand es old school.
¿Es aquí, no? ¿Dónde la... Acá. Por acá. Acá se va.
Esa.
Ahí está la cámara.
La cámara.
$3 million de price.
Dale.
¿Dónde apoyamos?
Acá. No, salí de ahí.
Acá arriba.
No, chabón. Bueno,
¿Dónde quiere? Ahí, dale. Acá. Ahí está la mesa.
Dale. Metele swing.
te vas a parar. No.
Acá, ¿no? ¿El juez está mirando?
Sí, la gente está mirando.
Acá está. Acá va.
Era una mano, ¿no? Una
Acá
mano
va,
sola.
sí.
Una mano sola.
A muerte, ¿eh?
Te voy a hacer talco.
A muerte.
Dale.
Ya, vamos, este tipo aprende. Vamos.
Overblue.
Vamos. Classic Blue. Los machos de Classic Blue contra Overblue.
Ay.
I don't watch the cards.
Truco. Decirle a Kirk que es un truco. Es un juego truco. Bueno,
Sí.
No.
Dale.
You play first. Ah, no, yo I am mano. Envido, carajo. Tenés que ganarme con puntos, ¿eh?
Falta el mido.
Es lo mismo, quiero.
32.
Dale,
Dale, que acá estamos los machos del.
¡Opa! Dale.
Pará,
Pelá.
Después te las muestro.
Bueno.
Truco. ¡Truco, carajo! ¡Truco!
Pero falta el mido del partido, boludo. Mostrá lo que tenés. Mostrá lo que tenés que es el partido.
I have to show the cards because he is a cheater.
Mostrá que es el partido.
Old school cheater.
Dale.
Ya perdí, boludo. La concha de todo, bueno.
Vamos, papá, está muerto, papá. La cámara, acá. Bueno,
Old school rules.
Bueno.
No hay más overblow. No overblow.
No. Big Walter Hortons wins. Es una linda manera de cerrar el año. Está tirado en el suelo. Bueno, nada, muchas gracias. En serio, ya sabemos que es tarde en Berlín. ¿Qué hora es? Son como las 2, 3 de la mañana en Berlín, ¿no?
No, 1:15.
1:15, bueno, está tranqui.
Decente,
Está en horario bien, está todo muy bien. Pero
Bueno,
bueno,
vino
Pino,
la policía.
Pino, vamos a cerrar el programa, último programa, siendo las 9:15 de la noche casi. Mientras vamos haciendo el cerramiento, vas a tener que agradecer a la gente de la escuela y nombrarla, que ese es tu
El
speech.
staff de profesores de la Escuela Armónica se compone por Natalia Herrera en redes, Diego Blues en técnica, el señor, y acá el staff de profesores. Tenemos a Tomás González, Kevin Gunset, Alejandro Yaques, Fede Dinari, Mariano García del Río, Nahuel Percán, Imanol Soto de los Ríos, Melilla Blanco, Carla Rossi, el señor Lucas Giovanoli y finalmente el número 11 sería yo. Así que de esta manera nos despedimos. Pino, ¿cómo termina esto?
Va a terminar con un Bayo Prashu. Aki.
Esto es... Sí.
No, Aki, thank you so much for being part of our program.
Thank you.
Yeah, big hug for you. Thank you so much, Marcos. I miss you, bro. Really, big hug
Me
for
too.
you. Yeah.
Me too.
It's our last show. Nos fuimos. We go.
Regalen armónicas por
Yeah.
la gente cumpleaños. Regalen armónicas, no regalen perfumes.
Explícale eso, Marcos. ¿Qué dice? Marcos.
Gift armónicas. Don't give anything else. Gift armónicas.
Yeah, no perfume, no PlayStation, no Xbox. Send harmonicas for gift. Yeah.
No underwear.
Bueno, nos vamos, gente. ¡Woo!
Adiós.
Bye bye.
Bye.